Good evening. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and it is 6:30 p.m. I'm going to call our regular board meeting to order, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Stevens, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Mrs. McMurray.
Here.
Mrs. Dillard is absent this evening. Mrs. Ernst.
Here.
Mrs. Kleiman.
Here.
Mr. Thompson. Here. We do have a quorum and can continue the meeting this evening.
Thank you. Next, I would love a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Could I first request to move agenda item 6F, 6H to new business?
6F and 6H to new business.
Yes, please.
Okay. And then I also have an item that needs to be added to the agenda.
Okay.
I have an item for approval of the rates of tax for 2025. This is an approval of the rates of tax as determined by the Miami County Budget Commission to be levied for school purposes on a general duplicate of 2025, subject to any additional levies approved by the vote. This is something that normally happens in the month of March, but the county auditors, due to changes with tax rates and such, have added this. So it needs to be approved by January 31st.
Okay, and where would we?
I will be placing that in Treasurer's Report, item D.
Do we need a motion on that?
We will,
Yeah, we will.
when all of the changes are done, we will do a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So because the C is gone.
Yes.
I'm sorry, can we also move 6I?
Okay. Are there any other changes for anyone in the agenda? If we could, we can vote on those and then I will make those adjustments and we can refresh the screen.
Awesome. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight as amended? Oh,
I'm sorry, one more. 6K. I have my family business. Now that's it. I apologize.
I'll make a motion.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I'll second. Any additional discussion on the amended agenda?
Mine is different from what you're saying. This one is for this one looks like property substitutes and
substitutes is F. Disposal of surplus property is already in new business.
That's weird.
7A.
Yeah, so, let me refresh this to make sure.
Yeah, that was 7A, and I printed this earlier today.
Let's do this. Do you remember the names of the
Yeah.
items that you wanted to move?
Supplemental positions
That's
and substitutes.
Supplemental positions,
And substitutes.
okay? Do you remember what the other one was?
Custodial position reinstatement.
It's a
Sorry.
correction.
that's him. So you do not want to continue educational endowment grant assistance? Okay. Or the Optimus? No. Okay.
Custodial position, right?
It's employment corrections.
That's K. Employment corrections, K. No, she does not want that.
Just,
I'll get titles in the future.
No,
It's
you're
just
fine.
supplemental substitutes and custodial.
Supplemental
The
substitute.
custodial,
That's M.
the, yeah, okay.
Yes.
so just those three items,
Yes, please.
and then the Stevens tax rate. Okay. So, supplemental positions. Substitutes. Custodial position. And then Mr. Stevens is going to move something here. We have to make sure we take off the consent agenda status, or that will not approve,
Yeah.
approve appropriately. Okay, everything appears to have been appropriately moved. Supplemental positions, substitutes, and custodial position reinstatement have been moved from consent agenda to new business. And the treasurer's report now has an additional item for approval of tax rates for 2025. Thank you, everyone. And that was Kyle Thompson and Katie Burns.
Lydia, does that look okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yes. Thompson.
Yes.
Ernst.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
Lyman.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next section is student recognition, which unfortunately, due to the weather, we're going to, sorry, that was rude. So we're gonna move on to the superintendent's comments and regarding our building project update.
So not a whole lot happening this week with construction. But the plans, I know, plumbing just got approved, so when that is happening for the PTA, they'll start, they have the plans for the kitchen, they'll start, draw the plans and work for that. The foundations for part D and E, which is the south end of the building, I think are almost completed, not completed. The foundation pours were done last Friday, and that work's being done. Continue to get bids from the high school. We had a meeting on last Monday, the 19th, and had quite a bit of interest from contractors in the pre-bid meeting. So again, hopefully good news continues with cost and bid interest on that. We should know that here, I think, at the end of the month. Should have numbers coming here by the next board meeting and probably for approval. If not, we may have to have a special meeting in early March, possibly, just so they can get work started, because work at the high school will start in this summer. So at the end of May, beginning of June, work starts. They have it phased out. So phase one will be kind of the east side, the academic wings, flooring, and the BAB boxes, things like that, heating, cooling will be, new stuff will be put in there. The corridor flooring will get changed the following summer, and then they'll move to the east side, or excuse me, the west side in next summer. But the roofing will take place the first summer, so the gymnasium and the CPA, so we don't have leaks anymore, which is nice for performances. And then we will also be able to, they'll be starting on work on the south end, I believe. All the masonry joints, everything like that will be worked on, and they'll hopefully be able to finish in the fall. If they get around past the academic week, then they can still work while school's in session, because it's gym.
Right.
They won't be in anybody's way. So that's gonna come fast here. We have waiting on the traffic study for the high school to be completed, so we then can decide how we want to design, if we were designing a high school, so we have easier access for buses, students and families. I think would be safer, that would be great. So that's all happening on February 9th, and it is at 9:30 a.m. is our ribbon cutting for the operations center.
Did you say 9:30 a.m.?
9:30 a.m., correct. We'll continue to have our progress meetings and AOC meetings weekly, so those are occurring tomorrow, even though weather's not cooperating with us right now. What questions might anybody have with the construction projects?
The flooring in the hallways and whatnot, is that just too invasive for them to do at any point during the year, even like over breaks and things like that?
So when they're kind of phasing work and flooring at the same time. So that's why they're doing the classrooms, so that's why they're doing some ceiling work with the BAB boxes. So they're taking everything out, redo the floors, and the boxes, kind of do that way. Because they have to take everything out, and then put it back in. So it's just too much. They're trying to do the furniture is going to be in the hallways while that's happening.
Okay.
And then when it's the following summer, the only thing that really needs to be redone is the office space for that new security vestibule that will be going in there. So everything on the west side really doesn't have that many classrooms to it. There's only like 2 classrooms, but the rework will be there. But that's plenty of time for them to get, to use the flooring space. They don't have to there's not a whole lot of stuff that needs to be put in there.
Okay. Gotcha. So is that phase 2, is it primarily just the flooring then, for the hallways?
There's other stuff. The parking lot, the second parking lot, the south parking lot will be milled, at least milled or built, so to speak, or not built. The north side is basically they're just milling 2 inches off and putting new asphalt everywhere. We got some new lights and stuff that need to go up as well. We're looking at doing what doing electricals, we got some lights out that we don't know why they're going out. We got some issues that we need to find out why, so that we can bring everything up to working speed. Thank you.
The traffic, the Southside parking lot, is that just looking at the existing footprint, or will there be any expansion of that footprint?
Existing footprint right now. So the idea would be if we could put buses in that visitor parking, kind of in that horseshoe where we have right now, that would separate busing and students. We'd have students, a separate gate for students to come in, and then up north, we can then have a parent drop off, that whole north side can be parent drop off. And if we do that, right now during the day, we do not have that second, we have two kind of double rows of parking up there, because we have to have buses. Well, if buses are over here, then that opens up another 100 and some parking spots.
Yeah.
So we actually will increase our parking availability for students.
That'd be good.
Staff could stay in that one, students could fill in up there. So we think we're better off that way as well. But separate, just like we're trying to do at the middle school and LD Ball, having separate entrances for everybody makes it go a lot smoother.
So the parent entrance would be by the water tower,
Yes, success
come
circle.
in there?
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is just me playing devil's advocate, because I've had to drive my husband's truck lately. How are they gonna fit in that turnaround? Like by the front door?
Yeah. Buses can come in there right now, the way it is.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
We'd have to
Right.
reconfigure, we reconfigure some things, and that's something that we're working with transportation to
Okay,
get all the buses in there, they can come right out, and then it's easier, because right now they're coming, to get out together on time, they come through the student parking lot, the police, the SRO could be right there, let everybody get the buses out, stop traffic, and then the rest could go on. We're looking at doing some ways, again, with the city to make it, so maybe entrance and exit for the students only one way at certain times, and more it's only an entrance, and maybe it's an exit. But you still have the entrance off of Success Circle that could flow in to any of the spots. So lots to be determined once we get that traffic study and work with Choice One Engineering and Garber Miller and show to figure out what our possible steps are.
okay. Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions?
Is there a centralized location where all of these plans and kind of updates and things can kind of be a progress report to the public as a continual thing? Because I get a lot of questions from people just on out and about, and I don't want to just keep telling them to send you emails. So just something a little bit more proactive as far as steps and stages and whatnot.
All the plans, I would say, we have plans, like we put out plans for the new parking. That came at the middle school and LP Ball, we post those things out as we know, as things come up. As things at the high school come solid, we definitely could put those things out to what we're looking at. We have ideas, but we're waiting on that traffic study to do things. Same like with the LT Ball, like before break when we switched over from LT Ball parent drop off here on this corral to over on the other side. We had maps, we were with Shook Construction to print out those maps, so we can post those out. We send them, I think, in weekly newsletters and to parents directly, to parents on how to do that. So we can do that as we get more ideas on the parking, what it's gonna be, for sure.
Is there some place on our website where like the renderings for the new building are living, or?
So the renderings are still there, that are on the PK building, there's renderings for that.
Oh, there it is.
PK,
Oh, okay.
for the high school, there's not, we didn't have mock-ups for the renderings for that. But we could do some traffic stuff, I'm sure, too. Once we have a go, and that again, it's with collaboration with the city as well, engineers, to make sure that it's their specifications, we can add that to here as well.
Like a one-stop shop for all the changes that are happening to the facilities. I definitely think because of how I came in the wrong way tonight and turned around I just think for community, for attending things, if we could put those maps even on, I know a lot of people get the weekly newsletter, but just to have it somewhere, facility, I don't know, somewhere on there that they can see those maps if they're coming to a football game or choir concert or whatever it might be. Football game.
Track in the spring.
Yeah.
There's no track this spring or next spring, as in events, because we don't have the space.
Home events. Yeah.
So we practice.
Practice,
Yeah.
And that's worked out where, again, that north lot will serve as a parking spot for kids, and this whole west lot here on the south end, parking spots for kids too. So we actually had some practices when the weather was actually nice. Before the cooler vortex came down.
Yeah, I just think another something in there that would be really helpful.
You can look at that.
Thank you. Thank you for that update. Any other questions? Okay. Next is citizen comments. Anyone here?
Any blank? Wait, this is Pat. Just kidding.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move right along. Next is our informational reports, and I know that Mrs. Stiller can't be here tonight. The minutes are located in the attachments. Did you have anything from her that you wanted to add, Mr. Moran, or anything?
No.
Okay. And I don't think we have any other reports, because we just decided in our liaison meeting. So, we are moving right along. Next, our treasurer's report. Mr. Stevens, are there some specific things for our monthly financial report, based off of the attachments and previous information that you want to highlight?
Gotcha. So the December monthly financial report is attached. One thing to point out, we do have our list of interest that's been received. We have spoken on it before, but I just want to bring up again the arbitrage, the construction interest we're earning on our construction money. There's arbitrage that we're going to have to monitor and pay. Arbitrage is the money that you earn above and beyond the interest rate that you got for your tax-free loans. So we can't make more than what we issued our bonds at. And so anything that you do make in a higher than what we issued the loans at, we have to pay back to the federal government because they're tax-free loans. And so we're going to do an initial calculation. We're going to talk with our bond counsel through Bricker Graydon, and we're going to pay for an initial review to determine how much interest we will be potentially earning, so that we know how much we will have to pay back. That way, we don't find ourselves using our interest money on the project and then determine that, we spent more than what we should have because we had to get some money back. So I've reached out to Matt Stout and Graydon. They're going to provide us with a contract to do the initial arbitrage calculation as well as the final calculation. And the final calculation is not due until 5 years after the project started. So we still have time for that, but this is something that is recommended by Red Tree Investments Agency and our bond counsel. So I just want you to be aware of that. Any additional costs will be calculated and included as needed. Now on the financial report itself, on the revenue side, we did see this month where the state took back some money that they had reimbursed us back in July for the science of reading. Turns out they did not appropriate enough across the state for all of the schools that submitted reimbursement, and so instead of providing 100% reimbursement, they could only provide 92.5% reimbursement. So we did see a clawback of that. I can't remember, I want to say maybe 10,000.
Yeah.
lot, but it took money back, and that's never a good thing. But page 6 in the financial report, the budget versus actual shows that our transactions for our expenses, they are tracking closely with the projections. Any questions on the feeling answer for the board?
Is there any, just with the arbitrage stuff, is there any, initial payments, like it doesn't work like estimated taxes or anything like that, does it? It's just like here's kind of what we think is gonna happen.
That's why we do the initial calculation, so we know what to try to hold back.
Okay, and then the final calculation will be done at the end of the project, and then it's due 5 years after that.
Well, it's within this, I think it's due within 5 years of the start of the project. So when we
Okay.
sold our bonds, I think we have 5 years to finish it and be done.
So August of 2030 or something like that.
When
Did we sell them last August?
We got the money in 2024.
Yeah.
So 2029.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
And we were getting, 5+% interest rates to begin with, to start at Ohio, now it's gone down some, so.
The interest rates have decreased.
Hopefully don't have to send it back to everybody.
Okay.
Keep it all.
Gotcha.
That's why we have Red Tree looking out for our investments and getting them where they need to go.
Thank goodness for that.
Any additional questions for Mr. Stevens?
Thank you. Next, under treasurer's report, I would like a motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 appropriation amendments. Do I have first? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. And a second. I'll second. Discussion, Dave, do you want to start?
Just that we had some additional funds come in. We've got some local grant funds that were awarded. We did increase a lot of appropriations in our building funds, the 004 and the 010 fund. The GMP 1.3 that was approved took up a large chunk of the budget, and we have not appropriated everything necessary. But now this should cover all the GMP 1.3, and all of the funds that are appropriated here we have the funding on hand, or the state has allocated it to us. So it's not like we don't have any of these funds. We're just appropriating the available funds. And we did receive a school safety grant, and we got some track uniform donations. So we just have to make sure that we're legally appropriating the funds so that we can spend.
Any other discussion or questions for Mr. Stevens? Hearing none. Mr. Stevens, could you call the vote, please?
Thompson?
Yes.
Ernst?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Lyman?
Yes.
And that motion passes. Next is the annual maintenance fund transfer. I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the following transfer. It would be $302,893.40 from Permanent Improvement Fund 003-0000 to our OFCC Maintenance Fund for our CFAP project. OFCC required annual maintenance fund transfer per board resolution 2024.11.07. And the final transfer will be in fiscal year 2047.
And I don't know if you said it, but Fund 34.
Oh, I
Dash
apologize,
9001.
I missed that. It will be going to Fund 34-9001.
Need a motion to approve.
Yes, please.
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you, Ms. Finer. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson?
Yes.
Lyman?
Yes.
Ernst?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes. That motion passes. Next, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the rates of tax for 2025. It is determined by the Miami County Budget Commission to be levied for school purposes on the general duplicates of 2025, subject to any additional levies approved by vote. I'm looking for a motion, please.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I'll go ahead and second. Any discussion or questions, Mr. Stevens?
As we discussed this in a previous meeting, the county budget commission revised our millage on the emergency levies so that they're still only collecting a certain dollar amount. This is something that they do every year. The county budget commission did remove or lower the bond millage on our project, lower than what I would have liked to have seen there, because they lowered it from mid-7 down to 4.0. But I just know that they're not going to be able to maintain that, and it's going to have to go back up in the future. It's not something that we wanted to see as a board when we discussed this previously, but it's at their discretion. So,
Mr. Stevens, if you remind me why it says 2025 instead of 2026?
because we have tax years that collect a year in arrears,
Okay.
so we're collecting 2025 taxes in calendar year 2026.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Ernst?
Yes.
Wyman?
Yes.
And that motion passes. Next on the agenda are our consent agenda items, which include prior meeting minutes for December 16th, prior meeting minutes for the work session for December 16th, prior meeting minutes for the regular meeting for December 16th, prior meeting minutes for January 7th, organizational meeting, Tip City Foundation grant acceptance, Tippecanoe Educational Endowment grant acceptance, Tip Monroe Optimist Club donation, anonymous donation, employee corrections, and retirements. And can I have a motion to approve all of the consent agenda items? Make a motion. Thank you, Mrs. Ernst. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lyman. We don't need to discuss. We'll call the vote, please.
Ernst?
Yes.
Wyman?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
And consent agenda items passes.
Thank you for the donation.
Thank you for the
Thank you so
donations.
much.
Yes. Next is our new business items. First on the agenda, I'm looking for a motion for the approval to repurpose and or recycle outdated and obsolete instructional material for board policy 7310.
First, can I ask a couple questions?
I have to have a
Gotcha.
first. Yep.
Motion.
First motion, Mrs. Lyman, thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Okay, now discussion.
I know that there's a method of disposing of them. How has that been determined, where these books will be going, or?
So in this particular case, they tried to find a home with about 6 different agencies and were not able to find one. However, they did find a home with it. Somebody said we didn't take what they did some research and found another place in the area to take them.
Okay, so they're being recalled.
Yes, these books are being donated to another entity who will use them. But if we don't find anybody, then we look at recycling them.
Okay, have we found another entry?
Yes.
Okay, can I know who that entry is?
It is, I believe it's called Flock for Love and Children out of in the Dayton area. They will use it for their book nook.
Is that FLOCK or FLOK?
FLOC, for Love of Children. And that was recommended from one of the area places we looked to donate. And if there's value, and then we would look to put on gov.deals and sell it if it's worth
Right.
it, but these would not be that piece.
Okay.
And then we get some that are just trash.
Is there a prioritization to look, say, in like the local area, local, like tip, and then start doing rings outward instead of just seeking anybody to take that?
Well, that was done inside, so the first place was, Anna's Closet, about books, browse around books, kids reading out, Tip City Library, Troy City Library, they were asked about donations, particularly in this case. So we try to donate to people in this area first, and if there's some others that maybe we're not aware of, and would like to be for future, we'd be happy to look those up, or get that information to reach out, because the librarians and the 7 people that I'm sure would like to get the books in kids' hands. So we look at it.
And then what are the qualifications to become in frequent circulation? Do you know how long it can't be checked out until that
It's
happens?
probably years, I can find that information out, but it's not like the last year that these haven't been touched in a long time. They look at these about every year.
Okay.
They look at these on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, if you don't mind finding that out for me, I appreciate it, thank you.
Non-circulation time frame. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
And then they're obviously purchasing new materials too, so they bring in a lot of new books too each year.
These were probably the books that I used in high school to do reports. We didn't have the internet.
Some of the science books were just outdated.
Yeah, I know. Just
Okay, and then could you also just find out what outdated means, just kind of how that gets defined, or, like there?
any other questions or discussion?
No.
Okay. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Lyman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. Motion passes. Next, under new business, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the following overnight and/or out-of-state trips. And you can see the public comment below for Mr. Bellis and his academic quiz team for competition at Solon High School in Cleveland in February, and for Mr. Bellis's academic quiz team for the National History Bowl and B in Washington, D.C. in April. Do I have a motion?
A motion?
Thank you, Mrs. Kleiner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Discussion or questions?
Do we know how many students are going?
I don't know.
The team usually has 5 or 6 on the varsity team. They sub in every 4. I think it's 4 at a time. They sub in every once in a while. So probably be 6 or 7, I would say, students at a time. But they do have a JV. At times they do have JV teams. So
Good luck to them. Hearing no additional discussion or questions, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Lyman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. And the motion passes. Next is, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the 2026-2027 Program of Studies for Tippecanoe Middle School and Tippecanoe High School as presented below. And then public comment, those are the final versions, no red line, that are attached. I'm looking for a motion, please.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Second? A second. Thank you, Mrs. Ernst. Open for discussion and questions.
I think there's some exciting addition. We mentioned this in the work session, but Mr. Halsey, Mrs. Weaver, and Mrs. Scott do a great job at trying to keep us current, up to date, bringing in relevant programs that kids are asking for that are going to prepare them well for the future, especially career-oriented stuff, which is great. So just to say that again in this meeting, appreciate their hard work.
And I'm excited about the world language stapler. I think that'll give an opportunity for languages that we won't be able to offer that will introduce kids to different cultures. So.
I do appreciate that they're trying to incorporate skills that aren't necessarily a standalone class into other classes that we all see as being vital to their development.
Absolutely. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Stevens, could you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Lyman.
Yes.
And that motion passes. Next on the agenda, I'm looking for a motion for the approval to employ the following supplemental positions for the 2025-2026 school year, pending proper certification and paperwork. And you can see in the public comment, these are the spring supplemental positions for athletics. So is there, let me go back, I apologize. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Ernst. I'll go ahead and second. Open for discussion and questions.
Guys, are there any paperwork, things like that for any of the positions we're voting on tonight that have not been turned in, or they still need to get certifications?
So there's a few different things. So one, coaches have to go through the coach's tool chest required for like concussion protocols, all these medical stuff. They have to get the pupil activity permit as well, two separate things, background checks. All those things have to go through before we allow them to participate with kids. So when the season starts, they don't have those things done. They cannot coach. They can't do anything. Get rid of them
And then it just automatically terminates if they don't play those times.
because they're not. It said they're not. They haven't completed the certification, so that they can't do the job. Because you have to have the concussion protocols and all these different things, and you have to have those in place before you're allowed to be a coach for the program.
Is there a reason we'd be voting on them before we know they have those, or?
Some of them, why would they do it unless they're being hired to do it? And there is a cost to that. Well, licensure is a cost. There's cost to those things. So if they weren't coaching, they probably wouldn't be doing those things.
And that's the same for the volunteers as well.
Yeah, they have to go through, get the pupil activity permit, all those things in order to be part of the program.
And I see there's a baseball coach with their still position open. Is that something we're actively seeking?
Junior high.
Yes.
Baseball coach.
Yeah. So I met with the softball coach today, so I meet with all the head coaches of the program, and we haven't. They didn't have one last year either. I don't think.
Okay.
So, but we try to get them.
So we're looking for a head baseball coach for the junior high.
That's what I heard.
Actually, is that a full-time or a part-time? Not for me. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Not for me. Or my
Well,
boss. After school part, after school part, yeah, okay. I have a great candidate for that, actually.
And last year, it was because the coach didn't have the numbers last year, if I'm not mistaken, for the program.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay. Hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Lyman,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Next, I need a motion for approval to employ the following for the 2025-2026 year pending proper certification and paperwork, and you can see in public comment, these are our substitutes, bus drivers, mechanic, teacher's aide, and substitute teachers. Is there a motion?
All motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Do I have a second?
One second.
Thank you, Mrs. Plano. And it's open for discussion and questions.
Do any of these fall under the new guidelines that we were setting where we don't require a bachelor's degree, but they have certain
No,
certifications or?
We have, I run one, I'm getting ready to start a second group, so I have about 6 or 7 more that I will probably do in the middle of February. I'm going to carve out a couple of days to get that training done, but those will be coming at a later date.
So none of these fall under,
The
I
pilot.
don't believe any of those, we haven't trained anybody since that one, since the one in the fall, so nobody, I don't know who the names are exactly in regards to who needs to do the training. They, if they're to fall under that, they would have to go through this training before we would sign off.
gotcha.
I know one, the one gentleman that said that he's interested in doing that, his name's not on there, but I know he's going because he told me today.
So all of these fall under what?
Regular.
Private protocol.
Regular board policy, not the pilot program. To my knowledge, that's all of them. And again, if they were under the pilot program, they could not go into the classroom until they've got, and Chelsea has those, she's the call person, she has those 3 persons' names. We don't even sign off on their, we wouldn't sign off on their certificate either until they've been through the program. So they couldn't get a permit unless they go through it. So,
Good.
what are the questions?
I guess I just, kind of where are we as far as the board policy that we emailed about, the 0149, as far as reviewing information about candidates?
So to me, these are applicants, these are HR functions, and HR functions of the team. That's not, that's a, board members are not part of the HR team. They are not part of, these people are not actually even employees of the district until they would be hired at here. So to me, that would be, that's administrative responsibilities, not board responsibilities. If there is a concern with something that maybe we're not aware of, by all means, we can have that conversation about anybody or, that can be no different than the coaches, right? They're in the same type of situation.
I guess it just feels a little bit like a chicken and egg situation, because until they're hired, they're not a part of the district, but then we've approved them before we get to actually review their resumes. And would that be the same then in your mind for full-time teachers that we would be hiring?
Yeah, those are HR positions. Those are HR functions about making sure all the steps are in place and that they've interviewed the candidates. Those are all part of administrative responsibilities, not necessarily the board. The board responsibility in regards to hiring is hiring a superintendent, a treasurer, and setting policy.
I
That's the
don't agree with that, because if we are supposed to have an overview of candidates, then I don't see why we would even need to give us a rubber stamp on the candidate if we haven't had the opportunity to review them. So it kind of seems like an arbitrary step, but I'll leave it there.
And I know that it does definitely take a learning curve. And you'll get some things that you're training when you go to, and this is one of them. And I remember this coming up as a topic of conversation when I went to our training, but it basically is about what the board can and cannot do. And it's a really see, I've got stuff like dog-eared and everything. And basically in this situation, it's my understanding from training and from our policies is that we support the recommendations from the administrative team and our HR director, which is Mr. Moran, and that's what we look at. If there's, I agree, if there's something on here ahead of time, once they release that information, definitely have a conversation that's outside of the scope of what Ohio says for the Ohio School Board Association.
And that's something, if that's a bigger discussion that we discuss, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see the board of governors model. Expected to be, not in the day-to-day operations of those HR functions.
That's my understanding as well from the training.
But again, there might be some nuances to it that might make sense too.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Lyman,
No.
McMurray, Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval to hire an individual as a custodial worker for up to 3 hours per week. Time will be supported by a timesheet. Motion? Yes.
One second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Clement. Thank you, Mrs. Ernst.
So this was a question that was brought up, by board member, Ms. Lyman, I think it's probably, this was something we had in the past, as I had indicated to the board members, but probably right, it's sort of a new, because it's kind of a debt, that maybe we should that we approve doing this, and then finding somebody for it after approval versus maybe it's a little bit chicken and egg type of thing. That we just be clear what it is. Again, this was a person, and again, the facilities over at the old bus garage were dismal, to say the least. We want to make sure the office area, the break area, those things are not, and it's not the garage that it was. So the time, 3 hours a week to make sure the bathrooms are clean, trash is taken out, those types of things. To have it specified for one person, we think makes sense. But probably something that makes sense to get approval for it first before going further.
So we're approving the position, and then that frees you up to
Then we
the posting on
it.
it.
Find somebody to do it.
Optimally, would you like it to be someone that already works for the district? Okay.
If it was somebody that looked at in transportation or operations, that part-time, or an aide that's working part-time already, that would be probably easiest. Somebody to show up 3 hours a week, probably, not worth their gas, maybe, come here 3 times a week, but who knows? But yeah, I think we can find somebody internal that may do it while we're here, so to speak.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Lyman,
Yes.
Ernst.
Yep.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, under miscellaneous, just letting the public know that our next work session and regular board meeting will be held on February 23rd, 2026. The work session will begin at 5, and the regular meeting will begin at 6:30. They will be held here at LT Ball. And Mr. Moran, what driveway and doors should they use?
Both of those are unlocked.
Okay,
Both of these doors are unlocked.
both the north, the
North,
far north,
yes.
and the south.
The south are unlocked.
Okay,
The easiest is the
It's the
south.
south entrance.
Yes,
okay,
that's the easiest. Come off of what used to be Never Access Road, and take it back to the operations center and up to the LT Hall. plenty of parking either way, it's just, that's probably the easiest.
Okay. Thank you.
Some people don't see, access road on the north by the baseball diamond.
Yeah.
You're not looking for it,
Yeah.
especially with the snow, you don't realize. Got things turned there.
And just a friendly reminder, this is a Monday meeting. We've moved to our Monday meetings and not a Tuesday. So just letting the public know that February 23rd is a Monday. Next is Board Member Appreciation Month.
So you have a little gift in front of you, a certificate from, the Ohio School Boards Association. For some of you, it's your third time, for some of you, it's your first time. But it is a responsibility that not everybody wants to take on. It is important. We have 2,400 kids that rely on people working on their behalf. So we appreciate you taking on that responsibility of being here and working in the best interest of kids. So thank you, even though it might be a month. This is your month. So again, there's plenty of cupcakes over there. If you like some cupcakes before you leave here.
I don't think we hang out.
I ate one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
About 3 or 4.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor to serve.
All right. Now, with that, I would love a motion to adjourn tonight's regular meeting.
All motion.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lyman. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Lyman,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. And this regular meeting of the Tip City Board of Education